Hi, this is Dave. This is my video for the 2025 Who Tag put out by Beetle Babe. Thanks for doing this. I love the Who, and let's jump right in. Question 1, how long have you been a Who fan and how did you get into them? It's been 51 years for me. In 1973, me and my friends, we stopped listening to AM Top 40 radio, started listening to FM rock radio, stopped buying 45, started buying LPs at that time. And I was just instantly attracted to The Who. They became my favorite band right away as soon as I started listening to them. What is your favorite Who album? Who's Next? The Perfect Rock Record. Been listening to this for 50 years. I'm kind of amazed that this is not the album that Pete set out to make, and that it's just bits and bobs from the Lighthouse sessions. Favorite Who record? Your favorite Who member and why? It's Pete. Pete's a songwriting genius. He's a genius composer. It's definitely Pete. Question 4, what is your favorite Who song? Me, it's Won't Get Fooled Again, off of Who's Next. Hard question, so many great Who songs. But that primitive synthesizer introduction, Roger lets out that scream, and the band comes crashing in. One of the finest moments in rock and roll. What is your favorite Who song sung by each member of the band? Well, Roger, I'll go with Love, Rain O'er Me. Just a epic rock and roll vocal performance on that song. Pete, I'm One, off of Quadrophenia. John, Heaven and Hell, especially live. In those late 60s, 1970s shows when they opened each set with Heaven and Hell. That was John at his finest. Then Keith, I'll go with Bellboy off of Quadrophenia. Of the solo careers, whose do you prefer the most and why? That's Pete. Pete's really the only Who member that I really listened to the solo albums or even followed them. So I really don't have much of an opinion of the other members' solo records. And which of the solo albums is your favorite? I'll go with Rough Mix, Pete's solo record with Ronnie Lane. 7, what is your favorite Who album cover? I'm going to go with My Generation. That's just such an iconic shot of the band. Love this cover. And what is your favorite cover album from each of the solo careers? Who came first? I don't really know enough about all of the other solo albums and solo covers to answer that part of the question. How many times have you seen The Who? For me, it's been 5. Saw them first in Detroit, Michigan in December of '79. Then I saw them in Mountain View, California in October 1999. I saw them 2 consecutive nights where they played Neil Young's Bridge School Benefit, and both those sets were acoustic. Saw them again in Mountain View, California in August of 2000. And then the last time I saw them was in Oakland Coliseum in February 2013 on that Quadrophenia tour. Really bummed I never got to see them with Keith Moon. At least my first 4 shows, John was with them. So question 9. What do you think the ultimate live Who performance was? I know this is kind of an obvious pick, but I'll always go with Live at Leeds as the answer to this question. You could probably take any show from 1970 that was recorded well, and it would be fantastic. The Who were just on fire in 1970. Favorite Who music video? I'll go with a quick one off of the Rolling Stones' Rock and Roll Circus. 11, do you prefer 60s Who or 70s Who? That's hard. I'm going to go with the 70s just because that's the era that I really started getting into them. I love both, but the 70s by about that much. Of the films, Tommy or Quadrophenia? Quadrophenia for me, because it was a great film. I know the Who weren't in it, but I think this was an excellent movie. Quadrophenia the movie. Now the albums, Tommy or Quadrophenia? Quadrophenia again. The Kids Are All Right or 30 Years of Maximum R&B? I'm going with The Kids Are All Right just because I bought this album when it came out. I went to see this movie in the theaters, I think at least 2 or 3 times when it came out. So I'll go with Kids Are All Right. 30 Years of Maximum R&B is more comprehensive of a, career-spanning box set, but The Kids Are All Right for me. Monterey Pop or Woodstock? Again, a close call on that. I'm just going to have to say Woodstock because of the iconic nature of the event. Who were great. Pete was like possessed from the film I saw of that show. And he gets bonus points for kicking Abby Hoffman off the stage. Isle of Wight Festival or Live at Leeds? Live at Leeds for me, all day, every day. My Generation or a quick one? That's a really close call. I flip-flopped on this several times, but I'm gonna go with a quick one because one of my favorite Who songs of that era, So Sad About Us, is on a quick one. It's Hard or Face Dances? I don't have either. I don't listen to many post-Keith Who records, but I'll choose It's Hard here because it does have Eminence Front. Eminence Front is probably one of my favorite post-Keith songs that they ever did. Question 19, Odds and Sods or Meaty Beaty Big and Bouncy? Love both, but I will definitely go with Meaty Beaty Big and Bouncy. I think it's the perfect compilation of their 60s singles. Also the first Who record I ever bought. So Meaty Beaty Big and Bouncy for me. Who's Next or Who Are You? Of course, Who's Next? One of my top 2 records of all time. Sellout or Who by Numbers? That. Sellout for me. Who's Missing or Two's Missing? I think these are both essential compilations. I'm going to go with Two's Missing because it has one of my favorite Keith Moon moments on here, and that's Dogs Part 2. He's just out of control on the drums. I think the closest thing we've ever gotten to a drum solo from Keith. Endless Wire or Who? I can't really give an opinion on that. I think I've heard both those records one time, but I certainly don't know enough to make a decision on that one. Question 24, do you listen to post-Moon albums? I don't. Kind of stopped listening to the records after Who Are You? I've heard the singles and seen the videos and all of that, but those aren't albums that I even have in my collection. What is your favorite character from a Who song? This one I waffled a bit, but I am going to say Tommy Walker, that deaf, dumb, and blind pinball enthusiast. Have you ever seen a live production of Tommy? No, I'd love to. Hope I get to someday. What is your favorite deep cut Who song that doesn't get enough love? And to me, that's so sad about us. I kind of love that song. Pete's best breakup song, I think, that he's ever written. Question 28, do you associate certain Who albums with certain seasons, either thematically or when you tend to listen to them? I don't. I pretty much listen to The Who all year long. There is no season that I associate The Who with. Who do you think is a better lyricist, Townshend or Entwistle? Pete Townshend. The man's written over 400 songs and so many rock anthems that we're going to be listening to for the rest of our lives and generations to come. What is your favorite Moon the Loon story? I think it's when he put too much dynamite in his drum kit and blew it up on the set of the Smothers Brothers show. 31, out of The Who, what are your favorite acting roles for both Roger and Keith? Really the only thing I've seen both of them in are Tommy. So I'll have to go with Keith as Uncle Ernie and Roger as Tommy. I'd like to see more stuff from Roger though. I mean, I understand that Roger's a pretty accomplished actor. Keith, it seems that it was just more Keith playing Keith. So hopefully, I think after thinking about this question, I want to dig into some more Rogers Daltrey's acting career. What is your favorite piece of John Entwistle's art? Well, this is the only piece I'm familiar with, is the cover for Who by Numbers. But again, this is another question that kind of got me thinking. I'm going to definitely dive in a little bit and learn more about John's art career. 33. If you've read them, which of Pete Townshend's book is your favorite? I haven't read any of his books yet, but I do recently downloaded Who Am I on my iPad, so I will be reading that book shortly. Question 34. What do you feel is the ultimate connecting theme throughout The Who's music? I mean, they've had such a long career. I couldn't pinpoint one theme that connects the entire career of The Who. Early on, you had the teen rebellion, teen angst themes. And in the middle, it was spirituality and trying to figure out who you are in the universe. And then Pete went through his midlife crisis phase with divorce and the drinking. So I think there's probably some Whoologists out there that can answer this question better than me. And lastly, The Who's lyrics tend to hit differently and resonate differently at different stages throughout our lives. Which currently resonate most deeply with you? Well, I'm long past. I hope I die before I get old. There's one song off Who by Numbers that lately has been definitely resonating with me. It's called How Many Friends? The line, how many friends have I really got that love me, that want me, It'll take me as I am. I think as you get older, you know, it really comes to the forefront who your true lifelong friends are. So thanks, Beetle Babe, for putting this out. I love rehashing my Who journey. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.